Hello, following my previous video about the Everything Electric show in Harrogate, I've got some extra footage which didn't get used during that one. So today's video is just a little bit of extra footage for you to take a look at, and hopefully you'll enjoy. Do you want me there?
I've got a couple of spots.
Yeah.
If I send you back round, see where that van is, the
Yeah.
e-bike one.
Yep.
Next to that, I had to leave a gap because they were getting wheelchairs and things out. But there's a gap there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay?
I'll squeeze in. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yep. Some people are a little surprised that the Carver can reverse, but it's necessary. However, you do have to remember that the back wheels are the widest part of the vehicle, so I usually adjust the mirrors for reversing so that I can see the wheel arches. In the previous video, the footage of the Tesla Roadster wasn't ideal, so I've included a couple of extra shots that I had here. Next to the Roadster was the Cyberster from MG.
Everything's in Chinese. That's the first thing I saw. The top of it, I think it's because I have a camera that it doesn't feel that too weird. But the sun, the moment you put it down, you just can't see anymore. It's just a single window.
The MG Cyberster was getting a lot of attention. Always popular are those scissor doors on sports cars. I got a chance to sit in the driver's seat and have a closer look for myself. Some of the user information on the screen was still in Chinese, and the windscreen wasn't really for very tall people, although I could just about manage to sit low enough in the seat that the top frame of the windscreen wasn't much of a problem. The MG4 was very popular with visitors. I did ask a bit later on if there were still any test drive slots available, but unfortunately they're all gone. For some reason, I totally managed to gloss over the Volvo stand in my earlier video. I think subconsciously it must have been the queue. That, and possibly it was located where I'd taken a test drive of the excellent Polestar 2 last year.
Could be right, darling. Yeah.
Too hard.
The Silence SO4 was a brilliant little city car. Later in the day I managed to take a short escorted test drive in this around the loop that you see here. Cosy is a word that springs to mind. Whilst there's virtually no space between you and your passenger, it was very comfortable and felt powerful enough, although it was a little hard to judge in such a small test track. The vehicle felt very well made also.
You've got a little sticker on perfect. Thank you. And then
Yeah, you too.
that's for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to sit in the front? Do you want to sit in the front? Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no, it's alright, don't worry.
So press the open bit.
Yesterday we had the grade on the roof, even going round that road and back again.
On the bikes?
On
Yeah.
the demonstrate.
Are you wanting to try the bike? Yes. Unfortunately, we can't try the bike. That's not. I don't know where that's.
It's a two-person.
Down in Surrey Hole where they're based.
With the door open, you can see where the removable battery lives. There's actually one of these on each side. The SO4 even has a little boot space with a proper tailgate access, unlike, say, the Citroën ME. The 52 miles per hour top speed is similar to my Carver S Plus, though I didn't get to see how it performed going uphill. The guy from Silence assured me that it had enough power for hill climbs. I got a little closer to the Ioniq 6, so I've included a couple of the shots here. The boot space looked plenty big enough. Towards the end of the day, I had a test drive in a Tesla Model 3. I'd never even been a passenger in one before. As the test drive was a bit last minute, I didn't get any footage of it. The Tesla test drives were unescorted and we were given a pre-programmed route to drive in the sat-nav to a local hotel a few miles away. Whilst the car was extremely comfy and very quick, I really didn't get along with the whole minimalistic nature of the car and the massive reliance on the touchscreen. In fairness, I didn't expect that I would, but I was open-minded enough to try it out given the opportunity. The new Model 3 with no indicator or wiper stalks is several steps too far for me. I felt completely overwhelmed with the information on the screen and was worried about messing up the sat-nav pre-programmed route or display in case I got lost. With more time and less pressure, I'm sure I'd eventually cope if I had to drive a Tesla, but I've now confirmed for myself that they're really not for me. I just can't help thinking they're trying to fix things which aren't broken in some cases.
This will tie in nicely. We're talking charging. We're talking all things charging at a fairly sort of entry level for the next 30 minutes. If you are thinking about going electric anytime soon, or if you've recently gone electric, chances are charging is the thing giving you the biggest headache, right? It is the thing that is the most different about electric cars. It's the biggest challenge. It's the biggest challenge in terms of the big picture as to how we make electric cars work for everyone. Equally, you might be someone who's owned an electric car for a little while and you're having an okay time with it, but you're wondering if there is a better way, if there's anything you could be doing slightly differently to make it a bit more convenient, a bit cheaper, perhaps. If any of that sounds like you, you've come to the right place.
During my time at the show, I did attend a few of the theatre talks, and I've included just a brief taster of them here.
Even a really specific question, I want to install a charger, but there's this really big tree in my front garden, whatever it is. This is the time, this is the place. Microphone is there. Any time during the next 30 minutes, feel free to come up and ask us a question, but don't worry, I've got lots of my own. Let's just quickly go down the line then, starting with Phil, and introduce ourselves.
Morning, Jack. Thank you. So my name's Philip Steele. I have a bit of a wacky title in Octopus. So my title is the Future Technologies Evangelist. So that really means head of R&D. So within my part of the organisation, we invent and experiment with things. We launch new tariffs and trial things. We find new technology that we want to research and investigate. So yeah, I'd love to share some of that as we get through the conversation this morning.
That's a fantastic title, and I think if we have time, towards the end of this session, what I'd really like to do is a bit of kind of future talk. What does charging look like in a world where absolutely everyone drives an electric vehicle? Because there's still plenty of issues to address, aren't there?
I'm EV Nick. I can make my own title because I work for myself, so I'm the EV expert of EV charging. So I've dismantled loads of EV chargers, tested them, reviewed them, stripped them down, seen how they work with other people's tariffs. And I go from everything from if you're an installer right down to consumer. So I know EV chargers like the back of my hand.
Hello, my name's Peter Cox. I work for My Energy. I'm one of our sales managers. So it's my job and my team's job to look after people all over the UK who are looking at EV charging, battery storage systems, solar power diversion. Essentially, our goal is to make sure that you have control of your home energy and try and remove the barriers to a greener future.
Hello, I'm Craig Slater. I'm the Managing Director of Savardis. We provide electric vehicle charging solutions. We pride ourselves really on the service side of things, so very relevant to the conversation we're discussing today. People who need a little bit of hand-holding, getting into it for the first time, that kind of education piece and providing the service around it be a little bit daunting, so we do our best to make sure it's not.
Well equipped to tackle this topic. We are, as a panel, I say we, you. Again, if you have questions, today's the day, this is the place, don't be shy.
Octopus Energy had their Wheel of Fortune, which was very popular, especially with the kids.
I wrote Vietnam, question mark, exclamation mark, brackets, sweaty. That was the trip, which meant that we got the lightweight tripods. You were, yes.
Yeah, it was just me and Imogen carrying 2 or 3 tripods, 4 camera bags, and we stayed in 3 or 4 different hotels, one a night, so you kind of drop the bags, sleep, wake up, take them away. And it was just humid, and it was mad to carry that much stuff around.
The theatre slot about the making of Fully Charged was really interesting, but my recording failed partway through, so I've not included much of it here anyway. I'd also missed the beginning. As you can probably see though, it was a very popular talk.
We've been super busy. What do you mean we haven't been up to much?
Can you talk about
in terms of shoots?
the pop-up wind turbine thing that you did with Robert? That sounded fun.
So yeah, we had a really good shoot actually. Called it was a portable wind turbine called the Kitex, and we filmed it at Robert's house. And any shoot at Robert's house is amazing because he's an amazing caterer. He always makes an amazing lunch, which is always good.
We had macaroni cheese.
And so we took this you say portable wind turbine. It's big. It's like how many 3-4 meters high?
Yeah, and portable if you've got several hours.
Yeah, it took. So anyway, we had a really fun time filming that. As you can imagine with Robert, like it's a lot of fun. However, we got it constructed, which we thought was going to be the tricky bit. But unfortunately, we couldn't get the software to work. And we called the company and whatnot, but we just couldn't get it to work. So currently it's unfinished, but we hopefully will have a part 2
later this year?
Hi everybody, it was one of these, and I think it was a lovely shoot for the fact that often we are shooting so much as a team, and we have to be quite militant in that we've got roughly 9 till 5, we need to get a whole episode. And this is one of those shoots where, again, we kind of went in, we've got 9 till 5, we need to get this wind turbine up, we need to get it working, film the episode. We're also filming a podcast that day and some promotional material. We got to the point, the final step in the dance. Producer Katie over there was like desperately trying to get this software to work. We rang the founder and he was like, do you all have iPhones? We did all have iPhones. He was like, yeah, that's your problem. Need an Android. So we called him back up, we called a neighbour, he couldn't do it. So we really did just have to give up that day and go and eat some macaroni cheese and speak to Judy, Robert's lovely wife as well. Anyway.
Sounds awful.
I guess best shoots then. What's some of our best shoots?
Well, what you guys were just describing, I think, highlights a really interesting difference between the Auto team and how we shoot, and the Halo team and how you shoot, which is that you guys, generally speaking, have to organise your own shoots. You're working with companies who are often quite small, and generally the way that your process works is you reach out to these companies, you go, hello, can we borrow it, or can we come visit you and film? And you have a kind of bespoke shoot with them. Whereas on the car side, we're working with brands who, generally speaking, have big elaborate press launches. They say, we have a new car, come to Spain and drive it, or come to a studio in Frankfurt, it's very hot, come and film with it. So it's all kind of organised for us. I think the thing that might surprise people the most on the Auto side is the variety in terms of how long it takes, or how long we get to film episodes. Because you'll see 2 episodes go out in the same week, and one of them we will have spent 2 days filming in the Scottish Highlands, getting amazing drone footage and whatever cool, crazy shot comes to mind. And the other we got in 30 minutes at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, while Andy was elbowing members of the public to stop them walking across his shot. For me, Andy, that's sort of my favourite and least favourite thing about the job, is the challenge of just, this is what you've got, this is the location, this is the time, make it work.
Yeah, and it's going off of that as well, that I think from the outlook, a lot of people think we have a big crew of people. It's at maximum 2 shooters and a presenter, and it's, you work with what you got, and it's rare that we get those 2-day ones. When we do, it's enjoyable from our side to do it, but like you say, B Triton, that was also we had 20 minutes in a park in the rain, that ended up being a wildly successful video, and it's good to look back and kind of go, actually that was quite fun, but in the moment it was, you know, you're soaking wet, you're trying to cover the cameras, so yeah.
Outside there was a live band playing, and as they were doing such a great job, I figured it was only right to include it here for your enjoyment. This tune was very appropriately named Electric Dreams. So again, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thanks very much. See you on the next one.